This video, we talk about the remedies, the things we can do to balance. Because we cannot change our society, we cannot change the way we live completely, but with small, smart adjustments, you can already make a big difference. We will look into different levels of self-care, just like we did in week 1, starting with the body. So, it starts with picking up the signals. How do you notice in your body that you are having a stress experience? Can you notice what is happening? That's where it starts. Once you notice that you have a stress, or you're nervous, or you're rushed, you can take action. You can do things to help yourself calm down. So pay attention to the physical signals. Then the first thing you can do to influence your nerve system is breathe properly. Most of us don't breathe properly. And especially when we are stressed and tensed, we tend to hyperventilate. Not drastically, so maybe you don't even notice it, but you're not inhaling properly and you're not exhaling completely. You can try for yourself. If you extend your exhale, make it longer and make it complete, you will see that you also inhale more deeply, naturally. And if you do that for 5 long, slow breaths, you instantly feel that your system is calming down. It is that simple. Another really important decision to make to balance stress is to sleep more. The busier you are, the more important things you have to do, the more sleep you need. So we all need to prioritize that. It's not something we should, think lightly of. Another instant remedy for stress is movement. Movement helps us break down the cortisol in our body and makes us more relaxed again. So walking, I already mentioned that before, is a wonderful way to relax our body and relax our brain. But also think of dancing or yoga, something light, something easy, something fun, if possible. It's important that we rest not only during our sleep, but also during the day. And resting means there is no input. I repeat, no input. So not going on social media, not watching a video, because again, this is a stimulation for your brain. It's a misunderstanding that entertainment in itself is always relaxing. It relaxes our mind, because when you're watching a series or a movie, you are temporarily dismissed from any assignment or task. But your brain gets input and needs to process everything that you see, making sense of it all. So how do you have no input? When you meditate, when you move, preferably without listening to a podcast, when you take a nap. Power naps are awesome. Even 10 minutes flat on your back, preferably in the shape of a sea star, will have an instant impact on your stress level. Also, music is proven to have a very relaxing impact on our brain. So this means that every now and then you should park yourself on your couch, horizontally, play some music, and not change the song after 20 seconds. Just listen to it for a while and just be there. Stare at the ceiling, stare at the clouds. This is how we relax. No input. Also, you can take care of your diet. Maybe skip that 4th coffee in a day. Limit alcohol use. Limit sugar. These are all very activating substances for our body. And last but not least, play. Play is the ultimate remedy for worry. You cannot play and be worried at the same time. It's not possible. So if you could combine these, movement, music, play, do something fun, do something that makes you smile, you will see that your body is able to relax really easily. We often think it's more complicated and we get very serious about our problems. But if you dance for 10 minutes, see how you feel afterwards. And having said that, I added a song to this slide. which you can find on Canvas later on. It's old song, very good. It has a very fun video showing evolution process basically. I suggest you play this very loud and move yourself the way you want and then see how you feel afterwards. I would love to hear the effects. And yes, I do that all the time. And yes, it works. All right, that was the body. Let's go to the human mind. So the stress triggers related to the mind are coming from both inside and outside. From inside, from our own worries and from our own negative imagination, and from outside as information overload. Last tutorial you worked with self-talk and with the inner critic. And it's important that we train ourselves to speak to ourselves, to think to ourselves in a compassionate, friendly way, as if we are talking to a friend that is kind and encouraging and motivating. Positive self-talk is very powerful. I practice with this for years. And when I have to do something big and challenging, I'm also afraid that I won't manage and that I will fail. And I grew into the habit of telling myself in the morning, I'm going to make something great. It will be great. I will do everything that I can to make something beautiful. And that helped me to stay in a positive state of mind, which actually makes you more productive in the end. So positive self-talk has a big impact on our stress levels. Our minds are inclined to worry about the future or things that are going to happen or that won't happen. When we limit our focus to the here and now, where you are right now, you will see that where you are right now, you are actually okay. You're actually safe. So it's sort of a check, like a reality check, like am I really in danger? Is there really something happening? Look around you. Where are you now? And in that here and now is the only moment in time where you can act. So wherever you are, what can you do for yourself to relax, to make things better, to get an overview on things? So limit your focus to the here and now. Another big contributor of stress are the unrealistic expectations that we have of ourselves. It's important to check, is what I expect of myself today realistic for the phase in the process that I'm in right now? As we've seen before, not only do we trigger our stress with worry, also the information overload makes us stressed because our system cannot handle it. So remember the little guy in the dark waiting for alarm signals? When there's too much information coming to us, it will also push the alarm button because it's like, wow, I don't know what's going on, but this doesn't look good. There's too much happening, all right? So see how you can limit the information stream that you take in a day. Be selective. What information do you allow to enter your mind? So maybe you can have less news in your day, less social media, less reading articles, blogs, I don't know what keeps you busy, less videos, less entertainment, less social. It's these little decisions that will make a big difference. Also, this will enable you to have more time to process everything that you take in, to even hear yourself speak again, develop your own thoughts, see your own insights. Another remedy for how we stress our minds is avoiding multitasking. As I explained before, it is very tiring for our brain. It harms the quality of our attention and really depletes our mind. So make sure that you do one thing at a time and really give it your attention. That way you will not only improve the quality of your focus, but you will also prevent your mind to go completely exhausted. And we need to do reality checks. We spoke about this already in the first class, but related to stress and worry, I want to repeat it again. So when you have a worry or a thought that makes you stressed or a belief that makes you stressed, it's important you put it on the surgery table and have a close look at it. Is it really true what I'm thinking? Can I absolutely know it is true? How does this thought make me feel? And how would I feel without this thought? These simple questions already tackle, or how do you say, weaken the power of the thought. So pay attention to your thoughts. What are you telling yourself? What is really happening here? Is it true what I'm thinking? We all have to do this self-inquiry to make sure that our thoughts and our fears are not driving us. And also write everything down. Writing down your thoughts, one of the instruments that you practice with in this course, has proven to have a very, very positive impact on our stress levels in the sense that they go down. What are you worried about? Write it down in detail. What all is running around in your mind? Not only your worrying thoughts, also your whole list of things that you have to do. If you don't write it down, our mind has a tendency to go into a cognitive loop to keep reminding you of what you shouldn't forget. It can be little insignificant things that you have to do. The moment you write it down, your mind can rest. So putting things on paper is proven to have a very calming impact. All right, this is the list of remedies for the mind. Let's move on to the emotion. Now, the emotion related to stress is fear. And fear is part of the whole reaction to danger. Because when we are afraid of something, we want to avoid it. In the case of the big brown bear, imagine you were not afraid of it and you would empathize with this bear, thinking, oh, you look so cute, you're so soft, can I touch you? It would be the end of you. So fear is very functional. It makes you avoid danger. It makes you run away from threat. So that's great. There's nothing wrong with fear. The only thing is that fear is triggered also by imagination and worry. So we are afraid even though we are not in danger, making us avoid and resist things. We avoid the unknown. We resist what we cannot control. To make sure that we become the drivers of our own life, we need to face our fears. We need to look them in the eye and study them, because they are often imagined dangers. So they are not real. And they do really impact your decisions. The tricky thing is that the moment we are afraid, we physically feel the fear. And then we get shocked. We're like, wow, I'm really afraid. It's almost as if it's a confirmation for the mind. You see, you're afraid. We are in danger. So it's a loop. It's a vicious circle. So when we are afraid, it's important to see that it's a feeling, but that it's not necessarily really connected to a danger. That's an important distinction. So don't be afraid of fear. That's basically the message. Then another emotion that is connected to stress, but there's a positive approach, is excitement. Chemically, that's pretty much the same for your body and nerve system. It's also a preparation for the unknown, for something new. For like a big presentation, or starting your master's, not knowing what will happen, writing your thesis, not sure how it will go. Excitement is the joyful, accepting attitude. So it accepts how it is now, and it accepts what will come, whatever it is. You could say that fear is the oh no against the unknown, and excitement is the oh yes, let's see, I'm excited, I'm curious. And it comes down to a psychological decision. So when you are afraid or you are extremely worried about it, can you alter your own mind, your own thinking into the positive and get excited about the unknown future thing that is going to happen? Gratitude is another important part of that. It looks at what is already there instead of all the things that are not there. And gratitude, the moment you write down everything you are grateful for, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, making you feel good, giving good energy. So these are interesting opposites dealing with the same situation, but one with a negative, pessimistic attitude and the other one with an optimistic attitude. Doesn't mean, by the way, that this, excited state doesn't need rest as much as the negative one. Because that's another, tricky one. I had a lot of people in my practice that were also suffering from stress because they were so enthusiastic about so many things and they couldn't say no because everything was so exciting and interesting, and they would still suffer from stress symptoms. So in both cases, we need to rest properly. Okay? All right, last but not least, I would like to speak about our social needs. We are designed to live together. That's our blueprint. That's how we survived for thousands and thousands of years. So our brains are socially, emotionally wired and making us feel connected to each other. We feel safe when we belong to a group. So the fear of missing out and loneliness and feeling over-responsible for our own little decisions trigger our stress. And sharing our worries and sharing our experience with other people makes our stress level go down. So sharing our vulnerability has proven to even strengthen your heart. So we tend to, when we are stressed, avoid other people because actually stress makes your empathy go down. So you're, not very social when you're under a lot of tension. But it is by speaking up and sharing about what is happening, sharing your worries, that you can put things in perspective, you feel heard, you feel supported by another person, will help you relax instantly. So what are your habits? When you are stressed, are you inclined to keep people at distance? Are you opening up or not? These are interesting things to investigate for yourself. Also, it's important that you learn how to say no. This is for many people difficult because we want to please, we want to make other people happy, so we are neglecting our own boundaries and needs easily and prefer to say yes to anything that people ask from you. So in the social game, on the one hand, we should look for connection, but on the other hand, we need to learn how to communicate our own limitations, our boundaries, and our needs. So when you are working with someone and you feel that, you're reaching your limit of what you can carry, it's important that you communicate this to another person so that we can all take action together, making sure you don't fall over. All right, so learning how to say no. This is a personal quest, so you need to check in with yourself and see what of all this that we discussed today is relevant for you. How is this applicable to you? Where is your heap of work? Where is your challenge exactly? And see what you can do for yourself to balance your stress levels better.